Matt Peiken here with the Wake Up Podcast, and I have a confession to make. I don't live in your city. I produce this newscast from all the credible sources of journalism and the reporters who make up your local media landscape. I try to get the names of people and places right, but once in a while I'll mispronounce something. So I want you to set me straight so I don't repeat the mistake. If you hear anything amiss or just want to send feedback on the show, email me at editor@wakeupthenews.org. All right, on with the news. Wake up, Cincinnati. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for making it to the halfway point of this week with me. Here's your local newscast for Wednesday, March 11th. Cincinnati City Manager Cheryl Long wants to dissolve the Department of Community and Economic Development and split its duties between two new offices. If City Council approves, real estate development and job creation would move to a new Office of Strategic Growth, while workforce programs, small business support, eviction prevention, and human services would fall under a Department of Opportunity and Resident Services. The 35 current employees would have to reapply, though officials expect most will stay. Long says the overhaul is budget neutral and won't slow down projects. Council could consider the plan later this month. You can read more about this in the Business Courier. City Council says it's fully supportive of Long following her latest performance review, but members want clearer and more consistent communication. A report released Monday praises Long for improving winter weather response and working with Council and the mayor last summer during what it calls a tough public safety environment. It also urges Long to address the media immediately and often during crises and to speed up deployment of revenue from the Cincinnati Southern Railway sale. Long says she appreciates the feedback and will use it to improve city services. Read more about this at WVXU. Clifton Market's future is uncertain as foreclosure proceedings move forward in Hamilton County Common Pleas Court. A hearing is set for March 18th involving the building on Ludlow Avenue owned by Gurmukh Singh. Wes Banco alleges Singh and his wife owe about $1.5 million on the market property, along with hundreds of thousands on other Clifton properties. The Singhs say they've paid $900,000 under a prior agreement and are seeking dismissal. The market also faces other lawsuits over unpaid suppliers, insurance, and checks. Singh was briefly jailed this week in a separate bad check case. Read more about this at WVXU. You may not know what a tax increment financing district is, but chances are you've been in one. TIFs, as they're called, capture new property tax revenue created when values rise in a designated area and use that increase to fund development. Cincinnati has 35 districts holding more than $131 million, with $88 million generated last fiscal year alone. The money can support infrastructure, property acquisition, and affordable housing, but it can't directly build private projects. Supporters call TIFs essential to neighborhood investment, while some council members say the city should spend the funds more aggressively. Read more about this in the Inquirer. And Sharon Lake at Sharon Woods will reopen this spring after a 2-year, $20 million renovation. New boardwalks, fishing piers, a kayak launch, and expanded wetlands are in place, and the Loop Trail now meets Americans with Disabilities Act standards. The lake was drained and dredged, with sediment reused to create wetlands that filter runoff and support wildlife. Kayaking should begin by summer, but fishing will be on hold for at least another year while crews rebuild the ecosystem. Another $17 million harbor project begins this fall. Read more about this in the Inquirer. Our free newsletter is a quick local news digest, essentially this newscast in written form. Subscribe at wakeupcincy.transistor.fm. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at wakeupcincy. And please share this podcast with your friends who care about this city. I'm Matt Peiken. Thanks so much for starting your weekdays with Wake Up Cincinnati.